Smart, smart, do. We are the children, the children of God. Come, come, come. We change our world. We have what it takes to do it smart and make it smart. Welcome to our Smart Do.
Welcome once again, our class 7s for today's lesson. Now, we are still looking at language patterns, and as earlier mentioned, language patterns are the rules that we follow when constructing sentences, especially in the English language. So therefore, today we are going to look at the use of every time plus a present tense plus another present tense. Now, every time is used to show that something happens all the time. Happens all the time. That something happens all the time. So therefore, when we use every time, it means something is habitual. It doesn't change. Now, present tense refers to a verb that shows the now time. The present time, the now time. Now let's look at examples of a present tense verb. It will be visit, buy, go or goes, jump. So all these verbs are in the present tense. Example in a sentence. How will you use this pattern? How will you use this language pattern to construct a sentence? For example, we'll say, every time I visit them, comma, and you see that? Every time I visit them, comma, I find them in the farm. Every time, happening all the time. I visit them, present tense. Every time I visit, present tense. I find, present tense. So, every time I visit them, I find them in the farm. All the time, happening all the time. Every time I visit them, I find them in the farm. Let's look at another example of this kind of sentence. Every time he participates in music competitions, comma, he wins. Every time he participates. Present tense. Every time he participates, he wins. Again, another present tense. So what does this mean? It means that the actions you are talking about happen all the time. They happen all the time. Let's look at a final example of this kind of sentences, and then we shall try and construct some of our own on our own. Every time he sees me, present tense, comma, he runs away. Every time. So these one are verbs, are in the present tense. Every time he sees, present tense, a verb in the present tense. Me, he runs, a verb in the present tense. Every time he sees me, he runs away. So, we shall try in our books to construct similar types of sentences, and I'm sure you're going to make it. Now, the other pattern that we're going to look at in this lesson is what we refer to as the use of a direct object, use of direct object plus the use of for in a sentence plus an indirect object in our sentences. Hi. Now let's start by defining what is a direct object. I believe earlier on we looked at this and we can remember what you said. Direct object. Yes, I can see several hands up. Good try. So how many agree with that? Very good. Now we say a direct object is represented by is a noun that is affected by the action of the verb directly. It is affected by the action of the verb. What the verb is doing, it affects the object. Alright. Then earlier on we have also mentioned what is an indirect object. I believe you can remember what it is. Somebody try. Yes, I can see a hand there. Good. Very good. How many agree with that? Very good. So we say an indirect object is not affected by the action of the verb. The indirect object is not affected by the action of the verb. So let's look at these sentences. This sentence that I'm going to write here. We can say Karanja, who is the subject, that is now the doer of the action that we shall be mentioning. Karanja bought. What did he buy? He bought a newspaper. So, newspaper is the direct object. It is affected by the buying. Karanja bought a newspaper for the teacher. Teacher becomes the indirect object. Because you cannot say Karanja bought the teacher. No, that's not possible. That will bring a totally different meaning. But Karanja bought. What did he buy? A newspaper. So the newspaper is affected directly by the action of buying for the teacher. We can also have another example here. Mother cooked delicious food. Mother cooked delicious food for the visitors. So, having written that, can we identify the different parts of that sentence? We have mother. Now, mother becomes the, very good, the subject. Now, the subject is the doer of the action. What did mother do? Mother cooked. This is the verb. So, what is affected by the word cooked? It is the word food. So, food becomes a direct object. For the visitors. Now, the visitors become the indirect object. Very good. So, therefore, following those examples that we have shared with you on the board, it will now be easy for you to construct similar types of sentences. So therefore, keep on practicing and I'm sure you'll be good at constructing these sentences. Have a good time. Let's meet during the next lesson. Goodbye.